How's it going, everyone? ND Sean 45 here. It's been a while since I was last on camera, so I hope everyone's doing well. Well, National Signing Day 2012 has come and gone, and I just wanted to get on here for a few minutes and talk about Notre Dame's 2012 class. So let's get right into it. Brian Kelly was able to pull in 16 recruits in this year's class, 17 if you want to include Amir Carlisle, who transferred in from USC. But definitely by far the biggest standout in this year's class is five-star quarterback Gunnar Kiel. Now, we all know this kid's story. Committed to Indiana, changed his mind, committed to LSU, changed his mind at the last minute and came to Notre Dame, and became an early enrollee. This was a huge pickup for Brian Kelly, because we need not only depth at our quarterback position, but talent there as well, and a quarterback who is capable of running Brian Kelly's spread offense. And Gunnar Kiel has all the goods. He has a strong arm, strong accuracy, but on top of that, he has running ability. He can make plays happen with his legs. And we don't have too much of that on our current roster when it comes to quarterbacks. You know, Tommy Reese, he overall just isn't fit for the spread offense, and that became obvious as the season went on this past year. You know, defenses were able to pick up, they were able to pick up onto him pretty easily. Andrew Hendricks has running ability, but he struggles at passing the ball. The only other quarterback on our roster that has the capability to properly run the spread offense with both his arm and his legs is quarterback Everett Golson. Now, Everett Golson, you can't really fairly assess him because he redshirted last year, and the only action that he saw on the field was a Notre Dame spring game. But from what I can tell, this kid does have the goods. But anyway, back to Gunnar Kiel. Now, a lot of people are speculating as to whether or not Gunnar could start the season as quarterback. Now, he possibly could, but in my opinion, not likely. Despite all the talent that he does have, he's still a kid that's fresh out of high school, so he has to get used to the college speed of the game, and he has to learn the playbook. And that's where Everett Golson has the edge on him, because he has spent a year under Brian Kelly's system, learning the playbook, adapting to the speed of the game. And in my personal opinion, I would love to see Everett Golson get a chance at starting. Because as I said earlier, I think he is the most experienced quarterback who is fit to run the spread offense. But regardless, whoever gets the start, I definitely expect to see Gunnar Kiel get plenty of reps this season. So basically, in my opinion, Everett Golson #1, Gunnar Kiel #2, depending on how fast he's able to pick up onto the system. But anyway, on to the rest of the class. One position that we were definitely able to add some depth to and add some talent to was our defensive backfield, especially with the departures of Harrison Smith, Robert Blanton, and Gary Gray. Definitely the key recruit there is four-star cornerback T. Shepard. Now, this kid, he is an incredible story. He has a hearing disability, but he is just able to play his position very, very well. He has great awareness on the field. He is very fast, and he has great playmaking ability, and he's able to get in there and break up plays. I mean, from what I saw from his high school highlights, just incredible. Now, him, I do expect to start right away with, as I mentioned before, all the guys that we're losing. But also, other key recruits that we were able to pick up in that area was four-star defensive back Elijah Shumanti. Same qualities as T. Shepard. Just unbelievable playmaking ability, unbelievable speed, so on and so forth. But other defensive backs that we were able to pick up in this year's class was defensive back John Turner and defensive back C.J. Prossi. If I mispronounce that last name, I apologize. But once spring ball gets here, I'm sure I'll become very familiar with how it's correctly pronounced. But anyway, other couple key additions to in this year's class were at the running back position. 2 four-star running backs in William Mahone and Kaveri Russell. Now, technically, Russell is listed as an athlete, but I I do think Brian Kelly will use him as a running back. That's just my guess, but who knows? Things could drastically change. Both very talented. Both have strong running ability. Great skills at their positions. A couple of other key recruits were on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive end Jaron Jones and defensive tackle Sheldon Day, who is also a Notre Dame early enrollee, along with T. Shepard, by the way. But Sheldon Day, this guy is a beast. 275 pounds, but man, is he quick. From watching his highlights, he's able to just break through the offensive line, make plays, and I definitely see both him and Jones being a problem for offensive lines in the future. Oh, look out. A couple of other key recruits for the offensive side of the ball was at the wide receiver position. 2 3-star wide receivers that we were able to pick up, Justin Ferguson and Chris Brown. I was able to catch a few highlights of both of these guys. I would say that Chris Brown is more of your inside guy who can get his hands on the ball and make guys miss. And Ferguson is more your physical, big wide receiver, catches the ball and can plow guys over, kind of like Michael Floyd. Now, way too early to compare him to Michael Floyd, but I'm just saying he's that same type of wide receiver. So, definitely big key pickups for the wide receiver position, in addition to the guys that we already have in there, like T.J. Jones, tight end Tyler Eifert. We also have Devaris Daniels waiting in the wings, and from what I've heard about Devaris Daniels, this kid is a big-time playmaker. So a lot of people are worried with our receiving corps that it's going to struggle since Michael Floyd is lost to graduation. I don't necessarily see that being the case. I mean, with Michael Floyd, it sucks that Michael Floyd is no longer at Notre Dame, but all that says to me is, hey, you know what? With him being gone, it's time for someone else to step up. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Filling out the rest of the class, we had a couple of offensive linemen that we picked up. 4-star offensive lineman Ron Stanley, and where's the other one on here? Oh, and 3-star offensive lineman Mark Harrell. And then we also had a linebacker, Romeo Okwara, 3-star linebacker. So overall, this was a pretty solid class. Not too bad at all. Of course, as we all know, probably one of the biggest news of signing day 2012 was we lost our stud wide receiver, Deontay Greenberry, the 4-star wide receiver from California. He changed his mind at the last hour and committed to the University of Houston. Now I'm not going to lie, that sucks, because from seeing this guy's highlights, to put it bluntly, he's solid gold when it comes to wide receivers. Has all the goods, great hands, speed, you name it. Balls that you don't think are going to be caught, he makes the catches. So it was really, really tough to lose him. And, the way I look at it is this. Well, first off, it's exactly reasons like Deontay Greenberry that I never get excited about recruits until I see them sign on the dotted line and when they're enrolled in school. And then I get excited. Until then, everything is just talk. But, a lot of Irish fans are obviously upset about Greenberry's decision, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. But what we all need to remember is, despite us being upset, which everyone does have the right to be upset. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this was a kid whose talents we definitely could have used at Notre Dame. But what we all have to remember is, when it comes to these recruits, despite the fact that they are top high school athletes and they're getting all this attention, we all have to remember that these are still 17 and 18-year-old kids. And them deciding where they want to go to school, that's a big decision for them. I mean, that is a decision that could impact the rest of their lives. No, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Will impact the rest of their lives. Because, it's, for a lot of these guys, it's probably the biggest decisions that they've had to make that they've had to make in their young lives. So, you know, and ultimately in the end, it's their decision where they want to go. So do I have any ill feelings towards Deontay Greenberry? No. As a matter of fact, I wish him success, and I wish success to other guys like, well, I forget his last name, but Poole, who went to Florida, and Ronald Darby, who ended up committing to Florida State today. You know, I have no ill will towards those guys because apparently they saw something in those other programs that, you know, we just didn't have for them at Notre Dame. So, you know, what can you do? You win some, you lose some. Simple as that. But really, you know, this class is nothing to be anything disappointed about. I mean, okay, sure, on recruiting rankings, the highest one I saw was ESPN had us at number 9, and I think Rivals had us at 21, and then Scout at 22 or 23. So I don't know. But really, the only thing that matters is this class, we addressed a lot of needs that we desperately needed to have. Like I said, depth in the defensive backfield, a quarterback who can run our system, 2 wide receivers that we need to have for you know, talent. So we addressed a lot of needs in this recruiting class, and this recruiting class for us this year is nothing to be ashamed of. And honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't matter where we rank as a class. The only thing that matters is if Brian Kelly and his coaching staff can properly develop these guys. Now, this is going to sound like I'm kind of copping out a little bit, but, you know, it doesn't matter if you have a team full of 5 stars, okay? That doesn't guarantee you a national championship, a BCS Bowl, or any of that. It all depends how you gel together as a group and how the coaches develop them. Simple as that. So, overall, as an Irish fan, I'm pretty happy with this class. Of course, I am disappointed to lose guys like Darby and Greenberry, but you know what? Life moves on. These are the guys that are committed to us, so let's put our stock and our faith in them. That's how I see it. That's just my opinion. So, bottom line is I'm happy with this class, and you know, there's a lot of talent in there, and I think we're gonna have a pretty good 2012 season. So, with that, guys, this is ND Sean 45. That's all I have for you in this video. As always, go Irish, baby! Rock some heads in 2012.